Maya Ahmed. You should be seeing my screen right now. And I am the moderator for our 6th edition of the G&G Transition Zone speaker series. I'm excited to be the moderator of the Wealth and Health panel discussion. We have Josie Toth from Workforce Solutions, Marcelo Fallick from Edward Jones, and Seth Tehan from Health Markets. Before we kick off, just kind of wanted to go over some announcements. StarSteer did reach out to me this week and last week, and they will be having an Operations Geology Bootcamp if anyone's interested. Basically, they're looking for experienced oil and gas personnel who don't have geosteering under their belt. They'll be doing this class for them. And if there's more than 10 people interested, they're willing to give a 25% discount. If you don't have experience with StarSteer as well, it's a pretty great platform. I used it when I was at Oxy. They have mapping and well planning features now as well. So if you're a consultant and you're looking for an inexpensive geological software, it's also a great way to familiarize yourself to StarSteer. So if you have any questions or want to know about the course outline, just email me at samaya@gmail.com. I will also be posting it up on the group website. See if you have any questions. And just a few ground rules before we kick off the discussion. If you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat box. Let me know who you want to direct your question to. We have Josie from Workforce Solutions again, Marcelo, who is a financial advisor with Edward Jones, and Seth Tehan, who is an agent of Health Markets. And so just enter their name and maybe the question. After they do their introductions to who they are and where they're coming from, we'll open it up to the forum. I'll ask the questions. If you do wish to have a follow-up question or need further explanation on an answer, just please raise your hand and I'll call on you and you can ask your question. And if the discussions do get a little long or a little overly personal, I will have the ability to table those discussions till later. So just so that way we can keep the question and answer session going. So I'm really excited to have Josie, Marcelo, and Seth. We're going to start off with Marcelo, and then we're going to follow up with Josie, and then Seth will go over his presentation. So without further ado, I'm going to stop sharing here and let Marcelo take it from here.
Hey everybody, my name is Marcelo Fallick. I'm a financial advisor with Edward Jones. Been with the firm for about 6 years. As a firm, we do manage about $1.2 trillion, so we have a big firm behind us and a lot of resources. So if I don't get to your question today and you do have more questions and I can't get the answer for you today, feel free to reach out and I'll be sure to get that answer for you. I'm going to do my best to quickly cover 3 topics: your 401k options, NUA, so what to do with company stock, and then CARES Act distributions from retirement plans. So we'll get started. Let me share my screen here. So the first thing quickly wanted to mention or discuss is your 401k options. So we have 4 options for our 401k. We can either leave it where it is, so leave your money in the current employer plan if they'll let you, move it to your new 401k, roll it to an IRA, or take it. So take a distribution, cash out, but you are subject to a pretty big tax consequence at that point. So the considerations you want to take a look at with these 3 scenarios, so either leaving it where it is, moving it, or rolling it, are going to be in this column here. So associated costs. So what are the costs, the ongoing costs? So there are admin fees in 401ks, but they're typically lower when you compare it to rolling it to an IRA. So in an IRA, you might have more fees and expenses that come with advice. Your investment options, so in a 401k, you may be limited to what the third-party administrator allows, and in an IRA, if you're working with a broker, you can choose individual stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, et cetera. So it kind of opens it up a little bit for you. Educational versus personal advice. So in a 401k, typically any information you're going to get is just educational, so they can't necessarily always offer advice. And then if you're working with a financial advisor, you'll get more planning and individual advice there. Account consolidation. So, how important is it for you to have all your accounts in one place? If you leave it in a previous 401k, well, you're going to have a 401k, your old 401k, a new 401k, and any other investment accounts out there. So sometimes it's just kind of hard to keep track of everything and make sure everything's allocated, per your goals. Tax penalties. So if you're in a 401k, you could likely possibly leave at the age of 55, start taking distributions without any penalties. But in an IRA, it's 59.5 before that 10% penalty goes away. And then employer stocks. So if you do have employer stocks, you will want to decide if NUA is in your best interest, and I'll get to that here in a second. So looking at NUA, so that's when you have company stock in your 401k. So NUA is taking your company stock and rolling it into a brokerage account. So taking it from your 401k, rolling it to your brokerage account in NUA, and getting capital gains tax instead of taking ordinary income on it. It's something that you'll want to consider. It's probably not something you can decide today based on just this information, but it's something to look into, and it's definitely something I can answer more questions on if somebody has a question about it later in the presentation after everybody else goes. But something to be fully aware of before you make any decisions. And net unrealized appreciation, so you can look at that. And then any CARES Act distribution. So if you've been affected by COVID, so if you, your spouse, or any dependents have been diagnosed, or if you've experienced adverse financial consequences, including layoffs, quarantines, business closures, et cetera, then the 10% penalty that typically was there for anyone under 59.5 has been waived for the year. So if you need funds from the 401k, there's no more 10% penalty. You can take up to $100,000, and if you pay it back within three years, you won't pay any ordinary income taxes on it. So it is something that you'll have to keep a track of, but it's good to know that, if you're concerned you're going to lose your house, or, you can't feed your family, you can take money, I don't know what that is. You can take money from your 401k with no 10% penalty and possibly not pay taxes on it if you pay it back. Sorry, I don't know what that is. So something to also consider, and we can definitely discuss on a one-off basis, but I think for now we'll kind of leave it there, and I'll pass it on to the next panel speaker.
Okay, now we'll have Josie present. Hi, Josie. I think you're on mute.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Josie Toth. I'm a regional facilitator with Workforce Solutions. And so what that means is, well, before COVID, I would travel throughout the 13 counties of Houston, Galveston region, teaching job search and career exploration classes. And since COVID, I've been transforming our curriculum to virtual and videos, and I'm also giving virtual classes and providing UI unemployment information. So that's very important. I work with Workforce Solutions, and we have another entity, TWC, that takes care of unemployment, and we work closely together. And the reason for this relationship is if you want to apply for your unemployment benefits, you go through TWC. And before COVID happened, if you planned on doing applying for unemployment benefits, you were required to job search 3 job searches per week, and that's where Workforce Solutions comes in. So TWC provides you your money, and Workforce Solutions helps you find the job, and that's why we work together. Now, because of COVID, they have temporarily postponed the job search aspect of it. So I'm going to show you 2 websites that I'm going to go over today. And these 2 websites will really help you find information that you need. And I've put it in the chat again. And so I'm going to stop my video and start sharing my screen. Okay. So this is, can y'all see this, wrksolutions.com?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
we see it.
So the blue indicates the updates regarding COVID. Our offices are still open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. However, we have limited staff, and you can no longer walk in right now, but you can definitely give them a call, and I'll show you where you can find your nearest office. If you're looking for jobs, we have a link where it's Jobs Now right here. Local labor market information means what jobs are really needed at this moment. And then contact Tracer Jobs in Brazoria and Galveston County. We've got links to that. If you or anybody that you know is between 16 and 24, we've got summer job opportunities. If you're needing childcare, we've got these quick links. So anything in blue or what our customers are looking for, and the quick links. And then vocational rehab services, you can click here for more information. If you scroll down, you can click on Find a Career Office, and from here you can put and so you're able to get the telephone number and everything. So that's the quickest way to find an office. Now, for unemployment benefits, you can scroll down a little more, and in the middle, you will see unemployment benefits. Also, if you're planning on going back to school or for training, you may want to read up on our scholarship information. If you're deciding to change a career or look into your current career and see what other things are available, you can do, you can explore career exploration, that site. But for unemployment benefits, I'll click on that. And our site takes the most important information regarding unemployment benefits from TWC and places it on here, so you can quickly read about what you need to know. The best way to apply is online, and we give you the link on that. And that's simply because calling, you'll wait a long time. And because of that, TWC has decided to open up their telecenter hours. So the telecenter is now open Monday through Sunday, every day of the week, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And the best time to call is closer to 7 a.m. And so remember how I said that before COVID happened, if you applied for unemployment benefits, you had to job search. It was mandatory. With COVID, that's not being mandated right now. And when it does, you can find that information on our website or TWC's. And so on our website, it tells you how to file a new claim online, and workintexas.com is the state job bank that we use. It's free to register, and our staff are very familiar with that. So if you need any assistance with that, you're more than welcome to give us a call. You can call by phone and ask about your unemployment benefits, but just keep in mind that it tends to get very busy. So we have a lot of information on our website and TWC site. I recommend before calling to visit those two sites to see if your questions can be answered. We give you information on how to request a payment and then how to manage and review your claim, COVID specific resources. So as you know, all of these are links. And so I would definitely read over this, save it as your favorites, read over it more than one time. And then we also have how-to guides, and these are videos. So now I'm gonna go to twc.texas.gov, and we have a quick link up here. So if you're a job seeker, self-employed, if you need childcare, unemployed after returning to work, we've got all that information there. I would also review the home page because it's got the latest information. So this is like their news page. So let's see, Texas unemployment at a glance. If you're needing child care, the latest information on that, and then news related to it. I would recommend, if you have social media, to like your favorite social media so that way you get the latest update immediately. So let's click on Job Seeker up here, and from here, all of this is on our site. So if you click on this link, it will take you on the page down below. And these are some of the waivers. So right now the waiting week is not being done, and then the work search is also being waived. We have instructional videos and job seeker resources. So I would recommend, instead of like clicking on these, just scrolling down actually and just reviewing the information, probably like twice, because it's got a lot of information. So as you can see, there's quite a bit, and it explains everything really in detail. And then you can actually determine the likelihood of you receiving unemployment benefits by these charts. I would definitely sign up for updates. And right here, these are some scenarios that, I don't know if you can see this, if my share screening, I'll share this real quickly. So if you click on the, can y'all see this, the Word document?
Yes, we see it.
Okay, cool. So if you want to kind of self-assess to see if the likelihood of you receiving unemployment benefits, these are some questions to determine whether you will or not. So that's a good document to review, which is under unemployment benefits. Understanding your payment, and it just has a whole bunch of stuff. So on wrksolutions.com, it's the abridged version of this. We just take out the really important stuff, but here you really will get all the details. Let's go back up top. So again, you can find this when you go to twc.texas.gov and you click on job seekers.
Thank you, Josie.
You're welcome.
That's great. I'm pretty sure I have quite a few questions myself.
Yeah.
But let's move on to Seth. I think he's going to quickly go over healthcare and subsidies.
Looks like
Seth,
we
did we lose him? Okay. Let me see if he's in the chat room. Nope. Okay, well, I'll reach out to him, but let's go ahead. Jason, can you actually take over the moderating of the questions for now while I reach out to Seth?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so the first question is for Marcelo. The question is, a lot of federal jobs that people are applying to right now, there have been a number of postings for geo positions on the USA Jobs website. They require you to sell oil and gas company stock if you accept the position. A lot of those stocks, of course, we keep because they make good dividends for us, even if the price has been going down post-employment. What do you recommend we do with those stocks to be able to keep the dividend income within our 401ks if we have to sell upon accepting a position? You're muted, Marcelo.
Thanks. Talking to myself. Yeah, so, that it's kind of a rock and a hard place, right? Because at that point, if you want to take the job, you have to sell the stock, right? So, there are other positions that we could look into that here at Edward Jones, at least we have our equity income buy list. So we can look for something that, might have a similar dividend or a similar, growth rate in the future. Maybe some tech stocks that are paying dividends or some financial stocks that are paying dividends. So, it's not necessarily apples to apples, but you can look for something that might be similar in terms of a dividend.
Right. Excellent, thank you.
But definitely, if you work with an advisor, definitely something to look at would be, taxes and, maybe offsetting it with something else if you have a loss or.
Okay. Very good, thank you. And I think we have Seth back now.
Yep.
Yes, Seth, would you want to go ahead and
Sure.
kind of dive into your presentation? Is it just me or? Okay.
Yeah. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes, and I think you should have co-host ability, so you should
Yep.
be able to share your screen now.
Yeah, sorry guys. Xfinity's going to get a nasty email from me. Okay. Okay. So I'm with a company called Health Markets, and we sell health insurance, life insurance, illness, accident, dental, vision insurance. A little bit about myself. I've been in the oil and gas industry for about the last 10 years doing landman work. So I completely understand where everybody's at because I'm right there with you. I kind of ran out of work in March. And so I kind of thought that maybe I should kind of get a backup plan going on. So I went ahead and got my health and life insurance license. And my buddy was working at Health Markets. So he kind of showed me the ropes. So I've been doing that for a little while now. And I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So I have this presentation. I'm going to kind of get through it real quick here, kind of give it the real condensed version. Basically, I'm a broker. So I have access to all kinds of different companies. But I'm going to get to what we really need to talk about. So open enrollment starts November 1st for health insurance for the ACA plans. However, this right here, the job change would be a qualifying event for a lot of us because we've lost our health coverage. You don't have to wait for your COBRA to end. We just have a qualifying event of a loss of job or a loss of health coverage. So that means if somebody were to enroll in today, that plan would go into effect on 9/1. So here's the thing I really wanted to get into. We as oil workers are not used to getting subsidies. We either get our health care through our employer or, pay for it. So right now, though, like, for instance, my income is, I've lost a zero off mine, for this year. So I actually qualify for subsidies now. So basically, if you got a family of 4 here and you make if you're going to make less than $103,000 this year, you're going to qualify for some government subsidies. And the more to the left we go here, the more you're going to qualify for. If it's just you got to be under that 49,960. If you're making $30,000 a year now, or will, including what you've made this year and then what you're going to get in unemployment, if you're sitting around here, you're going to get quite a subsidy. I was talking to a buddy 2 days ago. He's going to get cataract surgery, and this is a guy that we worked in the same office. We bought minerals all over the Permian Basin, sold a bunch of leases all over the Permian Basin. We're just making money over fist, 2016 and 2017. And now that guy, I said, what are you going to make this year? He said, I'd be lucky to see $25,000, And I said, okay, well, let's see what you qualify for. And I said, man, you qualify for a free insurance plan. And he said, you're kidding me. And I said, no, man, that's kind of what we're looking at this year because we've lost so much of our income, with oil and gas. So that's kind of what I really wanted to hit on. It's just, I think a lot of people don't realize that because we've lost so much income this year is that you might qualify for some government subsidies. So that's kind of really what I wanted to touch on. If you or someone wants a free quote, I can run those quotes. It doesn't take me long at all. So that's something I just kind of wanted to touch on.
Okay, great. And so I have questions here too. So let's start with, let's go ahead and kick off the Q&A. Jason's already kind of started it and had a good question about stocks. And Jason, did that answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. I'm just going to go down the list here and ask some the questions that are being filtered in. How long must one wait to file for unemployment if you receive severance? So I think that's a question towards Josie.
Yes, that's a very good question. Now, Workforce Solutions can answer questions on like how to help you file for your unemployment, like where to go and things like that. But for specific questions like that, TWC would answer that because it relates to your severance, your unemployment, and because each case is on a case-by-case basis, it would be best to seek that answer from TWC. But we can go on their website, and here on the search, we can type in severance or whatever question that you have. So first, this is what I would do if I had any kind of question. I would try to seek it on the website first, and there's also a chat feature here that you can put in. It is not a live chat. There's nobody actually manning it. It just goes by like on keywords and popularity. So you can use that feature as well. But here's severance. We have something here. So final pay. So it gives you quite a bit of information. The employer The employer has 6 calendar days from the effective date of discharge to give employer the final check, et cetera, et cetera, if the work separation is voluntary. So that's why it's very important to ask these questions from TWC, because it may be different if you were let go or if you decided to walk away from your job. So, but it does have some information regarding severance. And of course, due to time, I probably can't read all of this to you, but read this first and then call TWC or use the chat feature again if this doesn't answer your question.
Okay. Okay, great. The next question is, if we become a student, can we still request payments, unemployment payments?
Another very good question. So that one, I would actually go to wrksolutions.com. And the reason why is because, yes, if you're a student, you can still receive unemployment benefits. However, the school has to be approved by one of our vendors. And so you can go to, for individuals, financial aid, and then on here, you know, if you want to apply for a scholarship, all of this is free. All of this information is free. We don't charge to, you know, help you file for financial aid scholarships or anything like that. Let's say, you know, you don't qualify for financial aid, but you still want to go back to school. We can check to make sure that that school is on our approved vendor list so that you can continue receiving your unemployment benefits. So if school is an option, definitely call us. And again, you can find our office, your nearest office, by going to Find a Career Office, and then just asking to speak with a representative or a counselor about going back to school and making sure that you will continue to receive your unemployment benefits at the same time.
Okay, great. That's good to know.
Yes.
Let's see. What criteria must we meet to qualify for financial aid for childcare?
So if you go to our website and beyond the blue, go to For Individuals, Financial Aid, and then click, gets tricky, Financial Aid for Childcare. And if you scroll down, right now there is a waiting list, but to see if you do qualify, you answer these 3 questions. Do you live in one of the following 13 counties? If you do, then move on. Are you working at least 25 hours per week, or go to school, or a combination of both? And job searching does count as well too. And do you meet the family guidelines? And so these are the family guidelines. If you answer yes to these, you can find a child care provider, or you can always call our office, and then we have information on vendors, accredited programs, and vendor maximum rates. And then down below is the required information and materials you will need to file for childcare.
Okay. And so this is this a loan, or is this just like assistance?
You do not have to pay this back.
Oh, okay. Oh, good to know.
Yes.
Okay, great. The next question is, will there be any virtual job fairs coming up in the near future?
Excellent question. So if you go on our site, I always like to start from the home page. If you've noticed that I've been doing that, there's so much information on here. And even though I've been working for them for years, it's just so much easier anytime you want to find information to start from the home page. So if you go to For Individuals and you go to job search, and here we have virtual job fair that's coming up, Jobs Now, job fairs and hiring events, job search seminars. I teach a lot of those. So job fairs and hiring events, you click on that and then you scroll down and you will see upcoming events. And these will stay on here until the date and the time have passed. So you can use the filter for topics, but this one I think it just says job fair. You can go to a date, a particular date, or by month. So let's look at tomorrow. Is there anything going on tomorrow? Yes, so East Fort Bend County Job Fair. So you can, it gives you links to register and to find out more. And it gives you the participating employers and the available positions included. And then it gives you some tips if this is your first virtual job fair. And even if it's not, it's good to read through those again, tips and advice and so forth. And if you need Wi-Fi, you can definitely go to a Workforce Solutions near you, and I think you're able to access it from outside.
Oh, okay, great.
Yes.
Awesome. That's good to know. So if anyone's interested in looking for, temporary work, this looks like, or part-time, it looks like there's more than enough availability of jobs out there. Okay, next question. Do I need to file benefits for COVID separately when we file unemployment benefits?
No, you do not. So if it's COVID related, then you can kind of see, you can kind of determine like with these charts and things. So this chart is really good. And let's see what else.
What does the chart show?
Oh, I'm sorry. So this chart, okay, pandemic emergency unemployment. So PEUC, if you're affected because of the pandemic, then this, I guess like teal, green, blue applies to you. Extended benefits means that you were receiving unemployment benefits before the pandemic happened. And so now you're in the pandemic. What does that mean? So that means that you can receive up to 13 weeks more. And high unemployment period, it gives you an explanation of what that means. Must have exhausted. Your regular means that it didn't happen, it happened before the pandemic. PEUs, the pandemic, and state EB, and then Texas qualifies for, gosh, what are these other? High unemployment period, July 5th. So only available while Texas meets certain requirements. And then PUA. So this is a good guide to go by. And then this is also another good guide to go by as well.
Oh, interesting. So you can be pretty extensive, like the unemployment benefits.
Oh yes. So so for example, if you were already approved for unemployment benefits, that means before the pandemic, then you are able to receive either unemployment benefits or PUA benefits for up to 39 weeks. And then you can get an additional $600 per week until 7/25. So that has passed. We can probably find out more information on that on the home page, or if you look on their social media.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, great. Let's see. Can we contribute to our workplace 401ks after being laid off? I think that's a question for Marcelo? I don't, you're on mute.
So the question is, can you make 401k contributions to your 401k?
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't, unfortunately. So those are employer-sponsored plans.
Mm-hmm.
So any money going into a 401k is going to be from a paycheck. But you can contribute to a traditional or Roth IRA, depending on your income, and possibly get a tax benefit there. So you can either open an IRA and kind of start there, or roll your 401k into an IRA and continue in that path.
Okay. And I know you were going to go over the CARES Act, Marcelo. Could you go over that quickly?
Yeah. So really, when it comes to 401k, and let me pull that up again. So the CARES Act distributions, there's no penalty on early withdrawals right now. So if you need to take money out of a 401k or a traditional IRA before the age of 59 and a half, there's typically a 10% penalty. But because of the CARES Act, that's currently been waived. And typically you would pay ordinary income tax on any distributions from a 401k. But at this point, you'll have 3 years to put those distributions back in without paying any taxes.
Okay, great. All right. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Can you claim your tax contributions to a rollover IRA? I think that's what. On tax contributions to rollover IRA.
So sorry, repeat the question?
Can you claim on tax contributions to a rollover IRA?
So if the question is, can you deduct a contribution to a rollover IRA from your taxes, the answer is yes. And it's something you know, kind of based on how many contributions you made to the 401k, but typically, yes, you can deduct that.
Awesome. Let's see. So I had a question about the health insurance. So if you receive severance, does the entire severance amount qualify for the 2020 income? I mean, or is it like a specific period that needs to qualify for the subsidy?
It'd be what you claim on your 2020 taxes.
Oh, okay.
So whatever you put down on your taxes is the number we're going to go off of. Your adjusted gross income is what we would do.
And then you would do that for November, basically. What you're just kind of predicting what your 2020 income will be.
Exactly.
In November. Okay.
Yeah, like for me, what I've done is, what did I make, up until March in oil and gas?
Mm-hmm.
Then what did I get in unemployment? What did I get in oil royalties? And then what do I think I'm going to make in insurance, for the next, 4 months?
Right.
So yeah, it's basically, because the thing is if you make more than that and you're still going to fall in that subsidy,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're just going to have to pay a little bit of it back. Let's say you put down your income as 50,000. Let's say you make 52,000. It's not going to change very much. You're just going to have to pay a little bit of that health care back, that subsidy basically.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. And is there a way to continue the health insurance you're already on, or?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can go for a COBRA, but see, the thing with COBRA is I mean, I'm sure everybody knows what COBRA is. Basically, when you're an employee, the employer has their contribution for healthcare, and then you probably have your own contribution.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say the employer's contribution is $800. Let's say your contribution is $200. So when you get on COBRA, you are paying the employer's contribution and your contribution. which now your total is $1,000. You know, your premium's $1,000 a month. So what we've been doing is, you know, people will call us and they're paying. I mean, I've had some oil workers that are paying $2,000 for Cobra,
Wow.
you know, for their whole family, you know, in between $1,800 and $2,000. So, I mean, some of them for like a family of 4 or 5, you know,
Mhm.
and we've been able to, you know, get them on a healthcare plan, get them some dental and vision insurance, get them some life insurance for maybe $600 or $700, you know, so they're saving quite a bit of money. That Cobra is expensive. But then again, I mean, some employers' Cobra plans are really good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But the norm is it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg.
Okay. Can you provide your email address to get a quote in a health plan? So if you could, yeah, on your email. And so the Affordable Care Act, does that help with getting those? That's the subsidies, right? Basically.
Exactly. Yeah, and it also, I mean, the Affordable Care Act, it also, you know, made it to where you know, kids can stay on their parents' insurance until they're 26.
Yeah.
And then it also had a lot to do with pre-existing medical conditions.
Mhm.
So you can't just deny people for pre-existing conditions anymore. So
Mhm.
that was the Affordable Care Act. Now the Obamacare plans or the Affordable Care Act plans, those are going to be your metal plans, your bronze, gold, silver, you know, all that. And those are the plans that are sold on healthcare.gov.
Okay.
So.
All right. And you know about that, right? Like.
Oh yeah, I do it all the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. I know you were mentioning earlier, prior to this talk, that there are various loans that are being given to small businesses through the CARES Act. Could you elaborate on that?
Yes. So I did it myself. I had an oil and gas guy call me and tell me about it, and then I've called and told people about it. It's through the SBA, so SBA.gov. It's called the IEDL loan, and it's not for everybody. It's for it really helps out a lot of contract workers, people that had LLCs, S corps, that kind of thing. So I have an LLC and S corp for my oil and gas ventures. And I was able to get the IEDL loan, you know, through that. And what it is it's I think a 3.75% interest. And then you don't have to pay it back for 12 months. And it was relatively easy. I didn't have to send in I just send more info in for my unemployment than I did the business loan. But
Okay.
I did it. I know a lot of oil and gas people that have, you know, LLCs that are, like I said, contract workers, contract landmen have done it and I basically applied and I got the money in my account like less than a month later.
Okay.
So I would definitely recommend that for people.
Okay. I know that quite a few people have been looking at contract work and LLCs, and you were mentioning you were doing like you're getting mineral rights, so
Yeah.
acquiring that. So as a way, I know geologists tend to be kind of that tends to be their area of expertise as well. So if anyone's interested, Seth knows about that as well.
And I don't think I mentioned it, but yeah, I grew up with a little oil and gas was I grew up in an oil and gas family. My dad was a geologist for about 45 years and was laid off at Lynn Energy. Was the last company he worked for, which was out of Houston. So I was always very aware of, you know, the ups and downs. And I just remember as a kid, okay, the house is on the market. No, wait, the house is off the market. We're going to put the house on the market again. Oh, no, we're going to pull it. I mean, it was just a constant as a kid. And so I'm, you know, and then getting into it myself, you know, it's kind of the same. So, but I was gonna say, you know, for me, I was told, hey, if you're going to continue to do oil and gas, go get your real estate license or go get your insurance license. You know, and so I'd offer that same bit of advice. And you know, if anybody is looking for work, we are hiring. So you know, you can pass that on to anybody you know really looking for work.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that's something available for everyone as an opportunity. I did have a question. Let's see. Oh, okay, I answered. Are there any more questions for Marcelo or Seth or Josie by the group? I think I've asked all of them. Jason, do you have any questions?
No, I think we got mine covered.
Okay, great. Well, if anyone does have questions, Seth has put his email in the chat box. Marcelo, would you like to maybe put your email in the chat box quickly? So I've known Marcelo for a little while, so he's been really helpful in kind of explaining and situating what to do with your 401ks. And for me, particularly transitioning my Oxy stock to something else more beneficial. And and Josie, thank you so much. I think, Josie, is it okay if people reach out to you as well?
Oh, sure, yes. I'll type.
And Josie, are you going to be having any virtual speaking engagements anytime soon?
Actually, yes. So if you go to, let's see, I'm going to share my screen again. If you go to WRK Solutions and then for individual job search and job search seminars, if you scroll down, we have these upcoming events. So this is for youth, Become a Rising Star Certified Provider, Job Readiness Toolkit. That's from 10 to 12, and that's being hosted by Friendswood Public Library. It doesn't mean that you need to live in that area. Anyone can join, and I got an email a few hours ago stating that I will be doing this now. So yes, I'll be doing this. And Job Readiness Toolkit is just getting prepared for your job search. And then these are some other topics. But for the regional team, which is the team that I'm part of, we provide these job search seminars. So when I grow up is for the youth, but these other ones are for the adults, and you can learn more about them. But if you click on the drop-down menu, and it'll give you a brief description of what these classes are.
And this is available to everyone, right? Like
everyone, yes, everyone. And if you're not even in Houston, because it's a link, anyone can access it, and all of our classes are free.
Okay, cool. That's great. And is there a way to talk to a counselor if you want, someone to review your resume or anything like that?
Absolutely. Very good question. So you can definitely contact, I'm trying to get back. Let me stop sharing. You can definitely contact one of the career offices, and they'll be more than happy to review your resume. Or if you want, I'm putting the address on here right now. Seminars at wrksolutions.com. That is my team's email address. So on my team, there's 10 around, well, minus the supervisor and manager, 8 or 9 of us. So my supervisor will receive the request at seminars at wrksolutions.com, and then he will divvy out, depending on availability and our schedule. So we can review resumes, we can do a mock interview with you, we can review cover letters, anything job search related that you want us to go over with you, we'd be more than happy to. And these, through seminars, it's a free 30-minute session.
Oh, great. Awesome. That's great to know. Okay, writing that down. Okay, great. Awesome. That's good to know. So these are available to our attendees to go and, utilize these services. I'm glad. Thank you, Marcelo, Seth, and Josie for joining us. I hope this was very helpful to everyone. I know it was for me. And if you have any questions about these different, areas, please feel free to reach out to Marcelo or Seth or Josie. They're more than happy to help. And I'll go ahead and post the video on our YouTube channel and any contact information. But thank you again, Seth, Marcelo, and Josie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
And-
welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, take care.
All right, you
Bye.
too. Bye.